If you are on a weight loss journey, whether that's GLP-1 or otherwise, and you are looking for shopping hacks to help you to stay stylish while your body is changing, then this video is for you. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Oralia, and yes, today I am going to share with you my shopping hacks for how to stay stylish when you are losing weight. I happen to be a personal stylist. I am also on a GLP-1 weight loss journey myself. These tips that I'm going to share with you today are tips that I have shared with my clients and tips also that I am implementing for myself as I am going through this weight loss journey. It really isn't all that complicated to stay stylish while you are losing weight. You just need to keep a few things in mind. I would ask that you not do fast fashion. Fast fashion is detrimental to the planet. It's not good. It is not good. And you don't want to partake in that as you are losing weight. I know the temptation is there because it is inexpensive and it feels like it's disposable, but it never truly goes away. It goes into a landfill somewhere and it's just not sustainable. I would like for you to be a lot more intentional as you are losing weight and understand that you are not going to get the same cost per wear as you would if you were at your goal weight or, if you were at a sustained weight. You want to be mindful about what you are getting and how you are turning it over, because the things that you get while you are losing weight should be of good enough quality to be able to turn over to someone else for a second life. Please try and be intentional, try and be sustainable when you are doing this, because fast fashion is so easy. It is so very easy to fall back on that. But I would say that if you truly want to be stylish as your body is changing, the best thing to do is to make sure that you would shop for your transitional clothing the same way that you would shop for the clothing when you are at your goal weight or at a sustainable weight. Cost per wear is everything in this phase. Well, cost per wear is everything when it comes to styling yourself, getting dressed, all of that. You want to make sure that you are getting the best value for money from the pieces that you have, and you want to be sure that they are good enough once you're done with them to turn over for a new life. With that little tidbit out of the way, let me dive into the tips that I have for you. Don't buy investment pieces, not yet. I know it's exciting to lose weight. I know it's exciting because you can fit into the thing, it's fun and all of that, but stay away from making any huge investments because you're not going to get your cost per wear out of them. You're not going to get good value for money from it. You might be able to resell it for a good amount of money and recoup some of your expense back, but I wouldn't count on that. The resale market is a funny thing. You may or may not get what you want for the piece. Instead, look for things that are on sale. Look for things that are at a discount store but that are made of good quality, or you can thrift. So let me break those down. If you're buying something that is on sale, it could be a high ticket item, but if it's like 60 or 70% off because it's end of season or whatever, then go ahead, get it, because you're not making that big of an investment and you might be able to get a good return on that piece. So buy the thing, right? And wear it and love it. You can go to discount stores like Walmart and you can find really decent things at Walmart, at H&M, even Mango, Zara, all of those places that aren't too high a price point and aren't too fast fashion like. I wanted to interject just to clarify, because I know what I said a little earlier. Not all fast fashion is created equal. The places that I've named are all places where you can find some really good pieces that are better materials and better quality than you would find at other less reputable fast fashion retailers. So I hope that helps to clarify my point just a little bit. I didn't want any confusion or comment, so let's get back to it. Walmart is one of my favorites. If you're in the United States, that is one of my favorites because free assembly is probably one of the best lines at discount stores right now. You can get really good quality pieces from free assembly that you can wear and then you can turn over, whether that's a donation or a resale, and it will last and it will make someone else very happy in its second life. The other strategy to implement is to go to thrift stores. at thrift stores is probably where you're going to get your best cost per wear. You're going to get your best value for money because you can find some really, really good quality pieces dirt cheap. And so thrifting is something that I would recommend for you. Even though you don't have the ability to return it if it doesn't fit, some thrift stores do have dressing rooms where you can try things on. If you know your measurements, you can take some measuring tape and measure out what it is that you're shopping for. You will be able to pick up some really, really beautiful pieces for a great price that fit. So you're not breaking the bank. You can then, once you're done with it, you know, once you have worn it and you are now down a size, and you can't wear it anymore, you could always give it back to the thrift. You know, you can redonate it or you can resell it if you want to. That's an option for you. This is probably one of the best ways to save money shopping for clothing that's suitable for your changing body. The next tip is that when you are ready to move to a size, a new size, get it when it fits just a little bit tight and wear it that way. I know, you're all like, what? You're telling me to wear tight clothes? I'm not telling you to be uncomfortable. I don't want you to feel like you're super constricted and you can't breathe, you can't eat, and you feel awful and you're just not comfortable. No, slightly tight. This is something that I do all the time. First of all, I'm super excited because, I think I might be able to fit this size. And if it fits a little tight, but I can still function in it, then I'm all like, that's okay, because I'm going to shrink and this is going to start fitting me better and better every time I wear it. And it does, especially if you are on a really good trajectory and you know that you're losing weight and it's happening. This is going to be really, really helpful for you because it's going to give you a few extra weeks of wear with this piece before you have to turn it over because it no longer fits you. Get it a little bit tight, wear things to help kind of hide what's going on. If there are some bulges, well, you could wear a blazer or a cardigan or something loose fitting on the top, slightly looser fitting on the top to help camouflage that what you're wearing is slightly too small for you. But eventually you will start to fit into the piece better and better and better, and you'll have to do that less and less and less. And like I said, you're going to squeak out another 2 to 3 weeks of being able to wear the piece before you have to turn it over. So that helps to improve the cost per wear. Yes, that's another way that you can help to stretch your dollar, that you can help to keep your wardrobe going while you're dropping weight. And by the way, I wanted to add here that you want to get rid of the clothes when it starts to fit you too big. As soon as it starts to fit you too big, you don't want to hang on to those because it is a mindset thing when you hold on to clothes that are too big, especially when you're on a weight loss journey. You're kind of like in the very back of your mind, you're like, and I know this because I've been there. In the back of your mind, you're all like, oh, I'm going to hang on to it just in case, you know. You don't want to have that just in case because it gives you the excuse to fall back, you know, to relapse. And you don't want that. You're more motivated to keep going if you have nothing to wear. So get rid of it as soon as it stops fitting you, you know, as soon as it fits you too big. Let it go. You're not that person anymore. You can move on to the new you that's emerging. All right. Anyway, tip number 3 is lean into knitwear, preferably made of natural fibers. But the one piece of knitwear that I would say that is probably going to be your best friend as you are losing weight is Ponte knit. Ponte knit is a double gauge knit. So it's thicker than your standard knit. It's got tighter fibers. And so it will compress, but still bend and move with you. And that's the true beauty of Ponte knit, is that it really does compress. So if you buy it a little bit tight, it's going to compress you in. It's going to hold its shape really well. And then as you lose weight and fit into it better and better, then it's going to look better and better, but it's still going to keep its shape. So that Ponte knit is probably the one fabric I think that looks good as you're transitioning, you know, from it fitting a little bit snug to it fitting perfectly to it fitting big. Because even as it starts to get a little bit roomy, it still holds its shape really nicely and it's nice and thick and it just looks really beautiful, even if it fits you a little bit big. So Ponte is your friend when it comes to weight loss, because you're going to get really good cost per wear in this particular situation. The best cost per wear that you could possibly get in this situation. But also knitwear tends to look good, you know, like I'm thinking sweaters and things like that. They tend to look good a little bit oversized. You can wear them in ways and style them in ways where they are oversized, as long as it doesn't look like you're swimming in it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it fitting slightly big. You can do things to make it look better. Like you could belt the sweater, right? Or the sweater dress or whatever. You can belt it. You can do a little styling. Pro tip, take a brooch, pin the piece that fits you a little oversized here on the side. And that way it creates a really nice little ruching moment. And that is very slenderizing. And so you're getting a little bit of extra wear out of your piece because you're styling it in new and creative ways. That's another way that you can mitigate it fitting oversized. But then again, once it starts to get too big, once you start to swim in it, it is time to let it go. But if it is made of natural fibers, your resale or the donation is going to be even better, because the person that gets it next is going to be able to wear it for a while, because it's a natural fiber. It's more desirable, and it's going to look better for longer. Tip number 4, I touched on a little bit in the previous tip, and that is to wear belts as you transition. A belt is a really, really good tool to have as you're losing weight, because when you want to get as much cost per wear and something's starting to fit a little bit big, whether that's a skirt, a pant, a dress, whatever, you can always use a belt to cinch in the waist and give it a little bit more life, you know, give it a little bit more cost per wear, because you're able to bring it in a little bit so it doesn't fall off of you. I'm not saying to belt something that is tremendous on you. No, when it starts to fit a little bit big and you want to get a little bit more life out of it, then a belt will go a long way. The type of belt to get so that you're not wasting your money on belts, I would say a woven belt is a really, really good option, because it's got the little prong, but it doesn't have any holes. The holes are kind of like naturally built into the belt. And so you can close the belt at any point. So it's going to transition really, really well for you. I would go with a real leather one, because you would be able to wear this belt for a long time, especially if you don't mind wearing like a long tail on the belt. That's a really cool look, I think. And so a woven belt lends itself to that very, very easily. The other option is to get a belt that has got a lot of holes in it. There are some out there that actually have holes all the way around because it's part of the design. So that's a good option for you, because you'll be able to wear it and adjust it as, you know, you lose weight. And you also get the option of wearing it around your waist or wearing it around your hip, just depending on how you want to style it. And I will have my belt options, by the way, linked for you in the description bar down below, because there are a lot of belts out there that will accommodate. It's also helpful if you get a belt that has the slack, because you know how you have a belt and you buckle it and you've got all this left over here. If you find one where the slack goes behind the buckle, so it's kind of like hidden, then that makes it a lot easier to wear. You don't have to worry about wrapping and having a long tail or anything like that, because it's sitting behind the belt and it kind of sits securely within the belt loops of the garment that you're wearing. And then getting a belt that doesn't have any holes at all, that is just a buckle, and you just kind of slide the fabric or the leather in and you cinch it shut and it stays shut, but it doesn't have holes. You can, you know, pretty much wear it again on your waist or on your hips as needed, and it's going to adjust itself. That's another option. Those are a little bit harder to find, but you can find them. I do have one that I really, really love. I like it for that reason, is that it's transitioning really well with me as I am losing weight, and I'll be able to wear that belt for quite some time. And the last thing to say about belts that I think is actually good across the board, whether you're losing weight or not, is to have a leather hole puncher. You know, one of those apparatus that you can find on Amazon. I think that this is a must in anyone's fashion toolkit. Having this leather hole punch is a must-have, I think. And it is another option for you so that you can get more life out of the belts that you already own. You can just punch a hole in it to fit you, and then you can just keep punching holes as you lose weight, you know, and you know, get smaller and smaller and smaller. Definitely something that you need to have. And again, these options will be linked in the description bar down below. Tailoring, generally speaking, can be less expensive than buying new. And so if you truly want to be sustainable, then getting yourself a good tailor is definitely the way to go, because they will be able to cinch in a waist, maybe put in darts on a shirt, take up the shoulders, whatever the case may be. In most cases, the adjustments that a tailor can make are going to be less expensive than having to buy something brand new. In most cases, not all, but most, tailoring will be less expensive than new. You'll have to get a good tailor and talk with them about the adjustments that you need to have made in your pieces as you're losing weight. And you might explain to them what's going on, because that's going to give them some information, and they'll be able to help guide you as to what to do with your clothing to accommodate a shrinking size. And they'll also be able to tell you whether or not the tailoring can be done and the piece can still maintain its integrity, the structural integrity of it. Because some things, you get so small, tailoring is just not going to help. But having a really good tailor, they will be able to tell you what can and cannot be done and how much it's going to cost, and then you can make the decision at that point. But more often than not, they will be able to help you along the way at any rate. Maybe not scale something all the way down, from where you started to where you end, but they can help along the way. If you have any tips that you use as you're losing weight that I didn't cover off on, please, please, please share in the comments down below. I would love to learn, as will the other ladies in this community, because I know that a lot of you are on a weight loss journey with me, and we can all learn from each other. I'm going to leave you with a video here that YouTube thinks that you will enjoy. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I truly appreciate it, and I hope to see you in that video. Bye.